Good morning. Namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's just take a moment to become present. Find a nice, comfortable seated position where your spine and the back of your neck can sit nice and long and tall, opening up your chest, opening up your diaphragm, and opening up your heart. Gently close your eyes and soften your thoughts. Soften your eyes. Soften your shoulders. And soften your heart. Observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes now. For this morning's intention, you may think of a positive word or phrase to have with you on your mat and perhaps carry with you throughout the day and into the new year. So this morning, my intention is to talk about the new year. New Year's Day is tomorrow. And with that, we often talk about resolutions. But I'd like to talk about resolutions versus intentions. AARP article cites that resolutions are hard and fast goals that are either achieved or broken. So we've all experienced broken resolutions made on New Year's Day that often don't even make it to Valentine's Day. But intentions are less about a specific goal and more about a shift in mindset to help achieve that goal. For example, a classic New Year's resolution is, I'm going to lose X pounds, and then you just fill in the blank for the number of pounds. And I've been on that resolution before, and of course, it's been broken. So instead, try having the intention of, I'm going to focus on being healthy. It's about seeking out the journey, not the end point. So intentions and affirmations and mantras can work together to create a powerful experience. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples here. So the intention that I just mentioned, I'm going to focus on being healthy. You can back that up with an action step. That's your mindset. And you back it up with an action step, the affirmation of, I am mindful of what I eat and how I move my body every day. And then the mantra is typically kind of a one word, and it's distilling down what that intention and what that affirmation is into the essence of one word. So the mantra for that would be healthy. So another example is the intention is, I want to be in the moment without worrying about the past or the future. So perhaps your affirmation would read something or sound something like this. I am present, living in the only moment that truly exists right now. And then your mantra, that essence of what you're trying to do, would be a word like presence. So this morning, we're going to apply those affirmations to our yoga practice. We're going to do Yin Yoga. And Yin Yoga is often called the yoga of the joints because unlike the other styles of yoga, the emphasis is not on the muscles, but on the deep connective tissues. The three principles of yoga are to find your edge, that's number one. Edge being what I call the sweet spot between effort and relaxation. And this is true in any yoga style that you may practice, not just Yin. You need to find your edge. Let your intuition be your teacher while you compassionately lean into that pose. Your edge, your sweet spot will be different than mine and different from anyone else's. So you have to use your intuition to find what works for you. The second principle of Yin Yoga, I think, is the hardest, and it's to become as still as you can be. It's a mental and physical challenge, but it's the gateway to being present. And the last one, the last principle, is to surrender to time. Allow yourself to transcend time and place. A typical Yin pose is held from 3 to 5 minutes. But for our class, because we're not used to doing Yin, we're going to hold the pose for 2 minutes. So that's what we'll be doing. And the pranayama that we'll use is just our regular 3-part breath. Just be sure that you're breathing deeply from your stomach on up through your rib cage, on up through your chest. And then let that breath flow away from you, flowing away from your chest and your ribs and your stomach. And when you're inhaling, invite that pose into your body. And when you're exhaling, send nourishing breaths throughout your body, often to your joints. So let's start our practice this morning. The affirmations I chose for today are to support the intention of having a happy new year. So we'll start. I'll meet you on the mat. And what will come in handy today is a prop that will help to make you more comfortable in some of the poses, perhaps. My trusty blanket, my beach blanket, I'm folding it today on the long side. So there's going to be a couple different poses that this will come in handy to be comfortable in that pose. Again, we're going to be maintaining that pose for 2 minutes. So you may want to have that extra support there. So we're going to start off with on our backs, and all the poses are actually going to be on the mat. We're not having any standing poses today. So gently roll down on your mat. You can either go slowly down with your knees bent or your knees flat against the mat, and slowly lower yourself 1 vertebrae at a time to the mat until you come into a reclined mountain pose. Mountain pose is an active pose. Your toes are flexed, pointing up to the sky. Your right hand is on your stomach and your left hand is on your chest. And that will enable your shoulder blades to kind of get nice and snug into the mat. And just relax your whole body into the mat. Let the earth below the mat support you. Just get nice and comfortable in that. So the mountain pose, again, your toes are flexed, it's active pose. Our legs are nice and straight and strong with a gentle bend in our knees. Navel's tucked to the spine, lowering our lower back toward the mat. And you have your right hand on your tummy, your left hand on your chest. Shoulders are rolled back and relaxed against the mat. Shoulder blades coming together, and then just sinking down into the mat. Again, letting the earth support you. We'll just take a few moments here and have some deep breaths. So on the inhale, we're just gonna invite this pose into our body. And then on the exhale, we're gonna send our exhalation down to joints. We'll start with the ankles. Inhale deeply, stomach, ribs, chest, and exhale, sending that nourishing breath down to our knees. Inhale, then exhale deeply, sending that nourishing breath to our hip joints. Inhale. Exhale, sending those nourishing breaths all the way down our arms, from our shoulders to our elbows, to our wrists. Inhale. Just relax every muscle in our face. And just take a few more deep breaths here. And then on the next inhalation, you can bring both knees up to your chest. Wrap your hands around your knees and give them a gentle hug toward your chest. And we'll take our interlaced fingers and wrap them around our left knee, extending our right leg out and bringing it down to the ground slowly. Both toes are flexed up to the sky. And we're going to start our time here, 2 minutes, and I'll read you the affirmation and then I'll read you the mantra. So again, we're going to have right leg extended, left knee up toward your chest, both toes pointed to the sky. The affirmation is, I enter the new year with an open mind and open heart. I enter the new year with an open mind and open heart. And the mantra is open. Continue your deep breaths. And bring both knees back to your chest and give them a nice gentle hug. And we'll do that on the other side. So wrap your interlaced fingers around your right knee, extending your left leg all the way down to the bottom of the mat, keeping both toes flexed, lowering your left heel down to the mat. And we'll start 2 minutes again. And the affirmation again is, I enter the new year with an open mind and open heart. I enter the new year with an open mind and open heart. And the mantra is open. Bring both knees back to your chest and give them a nice gentle hug. And then send both feet back down to the bottom of the mat, coming back into mountain pose. Next pose is going to be reclined pigeon. So slide your left foot up the inner part of your right leg till the point it reaches your knee and your legs become a figure four. And then bring your left ankle over your right leg, just above the knee. And you can stay here if this is comfortable, or if you want, you can bring your right knee up toward the sky, placing your foot on the mat, sending your left knee out to the left side of the mat. And you can stay here if you like, if that's comfortable. Or you can interlace your hands behind your right thigh and extend your toes, both toes, up toward the sky and stay here. And we'll do this for 2 minutes. The affirmation is, I release all things from the past year that has caused any negative attachment. I release all things from the past year that has caused any negative attachment. And the mantra is release. You can release both legs back down to the mat. And we'll do that on the other side. So back to mountain position, toes are flexed up to the sky. And just bring our right foot along the inner part of our left leg up to our left knee, so that our right knee is pointing to the right side of our mat. Your legs are in a figure four. Again, you can relax here in this reclined pigeon pose, or you can bring your right ankle onto your left leg, right above the left knee, and slide your left foot up so that the knee's pointing up to the sky and the foot is on the mat. Your right knee is still pointing to the right side of your mat. And you can stay here. Or if you'd like, you can interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and flex both toes up to the sky and stay in this pose. And the affirmation again is, I release all things from the past year that has caused any negative attachment. I release all things from the past year that has caused any negative attachment. The mantra is release. You can release both legs back down to the mat. Our next pose is banana pose. So we move our right foot over to the right side of the mat so that our heel is right on the edge of the mat. And then join your right foot with your left foot. So your hips are still situated in the same spot as they were on the mat, but your legs are angled over to the right now. And if you like, you can cross your left ankle over your right ankle if that's comfortable for you. And then we're with our arms, we're going to bring them up over our head. Take our right hand and wrap it around our left wrist. And we're going to bring the right or left hand toward the right side of the mat. So you're making kind of a banana shape. Now, where you are, you may want to just, if you feel a little tight here, this is a traditional banana pose, but you want to back off of it. So doing the banana pose in Yin Yoga should be maybe at 70% of your full banana pose. So go to where it feels a little, that sweet spot between effort and relaxation, and then back off just a little bit. We'll start that. The affirmation is, I embrace new changes, new lessons, and new adventures. I embrace new changes, new lessons, and new adventures. And the mantra is embrace. And remember your deep breaths from your tummy up to your ribs, up to your chest, and let it flow away. And come back to mountain pose. You can bring your arms down alongside you. Toes are flexed. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. And then we'll do that on the other side. So bring your left heel to the edge of the mat on the left side, and then join it with your right foot. And you can keep the feet side by side, or if you want, you can cross your right ankle over your left. Hips maintain their same spot position on the mat. And then we'll bring our arms up overhead. Take our left hand and wrap it around our right wrist and bring the right hand toward the left side of the mat. Create banana shape. And again, find that sweet spot and then back off a little bit so that your body's not too tense. And the affirmation is, I embrace new changes, new lessons, and new adventures. I embrace new changes, new lessons, and new adventures. And the mantra is embrace. You come back to mountain pose, bringing your feet back to center and releasing your arms. Now we're going to come up into on our hands and knees. So you can do that by rolling over to your favorite side and getting up into a seated position. Or you can bring your knees up to your chest, and tuck your hands under, and create a roll to the point where you're seated upright, and then coming in to your hands and knees. Whichever way you get there is fine. And this is where our blanket or towel will come in handy. The next pose is thread the needle. So we're going to come into our hands and knees into tabletop pose, where our wrists are right below our shoulders, and the towel or blanket is right underneath the wrists, or in back of the wrists, not underneath the wrist, but in back of the wrists. Navel's tucked to the spine. Your fingers are spread wide apart, gripping the mat, and your weight is evenly distributed within your hands. Navel's tucked to the spine. Knees are right below your hips. We're going to sweep our right hand up to the right, and then we're going to slide it underneath our torso, bringing our right shoulder and our right ear down to the mat. This is where the blanket might come in handy so that you have a nice soft landing. And the affirmation is, I welcome new opportunities to grow emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I welcome new opportunities to grow emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. The mantra is grow. With your left hand on the mat, you push back up into tabletop. Recheck your alignment. Your hands are spread, fingertips are spread wide apart, weights evenly distributed in both hands, wrists are right below your shoulders. And we'll do that on the other side. So we sweep our left hand up to shoulder height, and then sweep it under our torso. Bring it over to the right side of the mat, and sending our left shoulder and our left ear down to the mat. And the affirmation is, I welcome new opportunities to grow emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I welcome new opportunities to grow emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. The mantra is grow. A gentle reminder for your breathing. deep breaths. Inhale, invite the pose into your body. Exhale, some nourishing breaths to the joints. And with your right palm on the mat, you push back up to tabletop. In our next pose, we're going to do child's pose, and you can do it one of many ways. You can send both knees out to the edges of the mat for a wide-legged child's pose. Your big toes coming together, and send your heels back. Your hips back to your heels. Or you can have your knees underneath you or anywhere in between those two spots. So I'm going to do my child pose in a wide-legged style. Knees are on the edges of the mat, toes are together. I'm going to come down, I'm going to keep my towel here and rest my head on that. We'll be in this position for 2 minutes. The affirmation is, I accept that I am responsible for my own happiness. I accept that I am responsible for my own happiness. And the mantra is acceptance. Come back up to tabletop again, bringing your knees right below your hips, arms right below, your hands right below your shoulders. Our next pose is going to be Sphinx pose. So we're going to walk our hands out and come down onto our stomach. And you can have your towel supporting your ribs or supported underneath your elbows. Your elbows should be right below your shoulders. Toes are pointing to the bottom of the mat. pushing down into the tops of your feet, opening up your chest. And we'll be in this position for 2 minutes. If this is a little uncomfortable, maybe you'd want to extend your elbows forward a little bit, sliding your hands toward the front of the mat a little bit, and then supporting yourself with the towel underneath your ribs. Again, we'll be here for 2 minutes. And the affirmation is, I am grateful for what I have each and every day. I am grateful for what I have each and every day. And the mantra is grateful. And we'll come back up into tabletop from here. Once we're in tabletop, we're going to swing our legs out to one side and come into a seated position. Seated position is staff pose. And you can use your towel to create a little bit of height underneath your hips. Have your pelvis kind of rolling toward the front. Toes are pointing up toward the sky. And this is going to be sage pose, and we're going to bring our left foot up and put it on the mat right beside the inner part of our right knee. And then we're going to take our right arm, wrap it around our left leg, and twist our torso to the left side of the mat, bringing our left fingertips right behind the hips. In sage pose, the affirmation is, I am courageous even when things are unknown to me. I am courageous even when things are unknown to me. And the mantra is courage. You can bring yourself back to staff pose. Toes are flexed up to the sky. We'll do that on the other side. So we bring our right knee up toward the sky. Right foot goes alongside our left knee. We'll wrap our left arm around our right knee, turning our torso to the right side of the mat. And our right hand will be sitting behind our hips. And the mantra is, I am courageous even when things are unknown to me. I am courageous even when things are unknown to me. And the mantra is courage. You can bring your body back to staff pose. The next pose we're going to do is recline butterfly. And it's in Yin Yoga, it's called butterfly. In Hatha Yoga, it's cobbler's pose. So we're going to sit up straight, bringing the soles of our feet together. And if you have your towel available, what's really lovely is to put the towel on top of your feet and then pull from underneath your legs, bringing your hands to the mat and sliding them underneath your legs. Pull that towel back toward your heels. So their feet are kind of wrapped in a cocoon. And it's just kind of nice and snug and helps your legs, kind of supports your knees in that position. So then gently roll back so that your back is on the mat. Feet together, and you can place your hands anywhere that's comfortable, on your tummy or alongside of you. And the affirmation is, I give kindness as easily as I receive kindness. I give kindness as easily as I receive kindness. And the mantra is kindness. Just a gentle reminder again for deep breathing. Just really relax into the mat. Let the earth support you. Take your hands and bring them along your legs and guide your knees back together again. And then bring your knees to your chest. Give them a nice gentle hug. We'll send both arms out to the side, create a T shape. We're going to go into recline twist. So exhaling, lower your knees to the right side of your mat. And then gently turn your head to the left to look at your left fingertips. The affirmation is, today I choose to be at peace with myself and the world. Today I choose to be at peace with myself and the world. The mantra is peace. Slowly roll your head back to center. Then inhale, lift your legs back up to center, back up to knees over your chest. Give them a nice hug again. And then we're going to do that on the same or on the other side. So bring your arms out in a T shape at shoulder height. Exhaling, lower your knees to the left side of the mat. And then slowly roll your head to the right side to look at your right fingertips. The affirmation is, today I choose to be at peace with myself and the world. Today I choose to be at peace with myself and the world. The mantra is peace. Slowly turn your head back to center. And inhale, lift your legs back up to center. Give them a nice gentle hug to your chest. And then extend your legs down to the bottom of the mat and prepare for Shavasana. Your heels are pointing to each corner of the mat. Your arms are out at about 45-degree angle with your palms facing up to the sky. And just relax every muscle, every bone into the mat. And our last affirmation is, today I choose to love myself and all others. Today I choose to love myself and all others. And the mantra is love. And I'll end this morning with words from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Write it on your heart that every day is the best day in the year. He is rich who owns the day, and no one owns the day who allows it to be invaded with fret and anxiety. Finish every day and be done with it. You have done what you could. Some blunders and absurdities, no doubt, crept in. Forget them as soon as you can. Tomorrow is a new day. Begin it well and serenely, with too high a spirit to be encumbered with your old nonsense. This new day is too dear, with its hopes and invitations, to waste a moment on the yesterdays.